Mic check, 1, 2. Hi, how's everyone doing? Oh, that's that after work energy. Oh, how's everyone doing? Good? We're really excited that you all have taken time out of your day to celebrate our youth media producers. And welcome to NEPM Media Lab Spring 2026 Youth Media Producer Showcase. My name is Danielle Lenore Felton, and I'm the Education Program Coordinator here at NEPM. In my role, I design and lead programming for the Media Lab and connect with community partners across Western Massachusetts, and I also work directly with our youth media producers. For the Spring 2026 cohort, Ismati and I wanted to focus on short-form video production for social media. But not just your casual or trendy-based way social short-form content. We intentionally grounded our teaching in NPR and NEPM newsroom standards. Over the past year, as educators, we've had the opportunity to deepen our own practice through our work on the Conexión project, which you can find on our NEPM digital platforms, in collaboration with NEPM Newsroom and NPR. This experience working on Conexión has shaped how we approached our Spring 2026 season, centering accuracy, strong storytelling, ethical interviewing, and intentional editing. We believe our young people deserve access to real-world experiences, professional standards from early on. And we want them to be able to not just create content, but to become thoughtful communicators, documentaries for their community. For another part of this program, a huge part of our program was collaboration with community organizations in the downtown Springfield area that are actively working with youth. This was very intentional because we wanted our youth media producers to not only build technical skills, but step out of their comfort zone and visit, connect, and interview and learn from other young people in Western Massachusetts. Through this process, they practiced curiosity, built confidence, and began to see themselves as part of a larger community as storytellers and leaders. To start out the program, you will meet each one of our amazing youth media producers of the Spring 2026 cohort as they each tell you about the process of creating their staff interviews, which we'll watch first, they completed during their first week. This project served both as their introduction and training to short-form video content, helping them build the foundational skills and confidence they needed to go out before going out into the community. What you'll see here today are stories rooted in connection, learning, and a care for community. Thank you for being here and supporting their work.
I definitely feel way better prepared today than what I did Tuesday, and it's only the second day of our 6-week program, so that goes to show a lot.
We interviewed some of the staff members that was willing to get interviewed by us today, and I really enjoyed this activity because not only did I get to meet new people and learn more about other people, I got to get out of my comfort zone and conversate with people because I'm usually a quiet person. And I feel like that really helped in that sense of way.
Today I worked out with one of the staff members here at NEPM, Jerry. He was a character. He was a great guy to work with today. He definitely gave me a lot of B-roll shots, and he gave me a lot of interview to go over and to go edit over on Tuesday. So today we basically just learned about getting those shots and really getting our subject set up on the grid perfectly fine, and then Tuesday we're gonna learn more about editing. The experience was enjoyable, especially with who I had, and it was a very straightforward but kind of an overthinking thing at the same time, but it's very easy to persevere through. Hello everybody, I'm Enrique Martinez. I'm a youth producer here at NEPM. I go to Ware High School. And that first video was one of our first getting a gist of getting in editing, getting into filming, and being able to interview somebody. And the first few videos that you guys are going to be seeing is all of our staff interviews, and my staff interview is going to be the first one coming up, and I got to interview Jerry. He's a huge character here at NEPM, and let's see how it goes.
So I don't know how much you've been told about NEPM, but we have tens of thousands of members who contribute. This is a nonprofit organization, and we generate income from these members who make donations. And so member services and development is a really important part of the organization because they're the lifeblood for us. I have great coworkers. And you might hear this from other people, that is the fun part. It's a very positive atmosphere because everybody who works here really believes in the mission of NEPM. But I'm lucky. I got great coworkers with good senses of humor, like Walter, who you just met. The advice would be if you love the mission organization, do lots of things and figure out what your strength is for whatever that particular job might be that you might want to go after. If you love your job, you love your job. You know what I mean? So maybe when I'm 70, I would if I were to get one more job, I think I'd like to work at a record store. So we'll see if I do that when I'm 70.
Hi, my name is Jalissa. I'm also a youth media producer here at NEPM, and I also did a staff video on Khalees Smith, and she is one of the Fab 413 hosts, and you'll hear more about her job.
I am Les, and I go to SciTech, and I interviewed Liz.
Don't worry about it, it probably will work out. We book guests, we decide where we're going to go, we write scripts for the show for whether or not we have live guests in studio. We'll do the editing of our segments ourselves. Our dedication to making sure we're covering all 4 counties as evenly as possible so that we're showing that there's really cool stuff happening literally everywhere in each of the corners of Western Mass. We're actively pursuing voices of color, voices from the queer community, voices of especially women, trying to make sure that we have general gender equity, and getting more in connection with some of the smaller legislative bodies that are here, in addition to our weekly chat with Jim McGovern, I think is going to be really useful to the people of Western Mass and our listeners. Getting to go on adventures. We say all the time, our actual job is just being curious for a living. Start making this stuff already. Build your own reels. Start sending them out. Start publishing them, and make the thing that you like. The people who like it will flock to it.
This field can be very difficult, especially when I was younger. There weren't a lot of women role models. I was lucky that I did have some women role models that helped me a lot, but there's not a lot of women doing management work or editing work. And so that was something to overcome. And having to cover communities that sometimes didn't accept me, or they thought I looked too young when I first started out, so they didn't take me seriously. I think it's important for the community and for people to have access to honest and true media and honest news about what's going on around them. And I'm really proud to be able to do that work and to work with a team of people that do that. The best advice if you want to become a journalist or if you're interested in media is to always have questions about what's going on around you. Don't assume that things are the way that they seem at first sight. There's always something underneath the surface, and the best thing that you can be as a journalist is someone who asks a lot of questions and someone who's curious about the world. I also think it's important to care about the people around you and to care about the things that are happening in your community, and that makes this a really easy job to do when you care and when you ask a lot of questions. But most of the time it's little things that people do every day that, that make their community better. I think those are the best stories.
I'm Zaire Monroe Love. I go to Springfield Central High School, and the person I interviewed was Umar Verona, and he was a very interesting guy, and I got to learn a lot about him. And yeah, my video is going to be coming up soon.
My dream since I've been a kid, since my childhood, I always wanted to become a journalist and an interpreter. So I believe my job as a journalist is to make sure to give an opportunity to talk, to speak to those people who are not, who don't have that opportunity. I decided to volunteer at New England Public Media. I have volunteered for a year. I knew that just being here, I will maybe get a chance to become an intern that I am right now. I'm a news reporter intern, just to talk to people from the industry. I've learned so much, and even though if I didn't get a chance to intern here, I still had so many opportunities to talk to people, to other journalists, to get their insight, how to get into the industry. So just being curious and just not being scared. Just go ahead and do it. Be open-minded. Learn foreign languages. Because, I mean, there's so many doors will open in front of you if you know not just a couple words of the, let's say, Spanish, Russian, any French, any other languages.
Hi everybody, and welcome. Thank you for coming today. I'm Joseph Pagan, a youth media producer at NEPM. Over the last few weeks, I really enjoyed the field trips we went on and all of us cooperating on projects together. This video you'll be seeing today is my NEPM staff interview on Jill Kaufman. The experience of interviewing Jill was really fun and the conversation went really well. Thank you everybody and enjoy.
What inspired me to work in public radio was that I loved the sound of people telling stories, and that even when it was news, not just the feature kinds of stories that public radio is known for still, even as it has also become a more digital presence. This is the kind of writing I want to do. I want to write for radio. I want to tell people stories. I want to write not in the printed grammatical way, but to tell you something that's happening. So, and that would be news and that would be non-news, like things that matter to people's lives and can crack open your heart and let you like identify with somebody else who's across the country or across the world. I think people expect that we are just a window into the story, and we are. We are not taking sides. But I think that there has to be analysis in some news stories, and people pick up on analysis as a bias. If we're doing it right, you're not going to see a bias. You're going to see a balance of analysis on top of the situation. Fun. Any feature story has been fun, like where I go to cover some art, where I get to talk to an artist one-on-one or a musician. But I did have to go into a canoe to do a story about an art show that was in the water, in the Connecticut River. So that was fun, and also had to be very aware of not dropping my material.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Mahdi Nelson Jr., and I'm actually a returning youth media producer here at NEPM. I was here 2 years ago, and I was glad to return because it was a truly good learning experience to get another skill under my belt, really. And it's great to learn while also having fun and making connections, meeting new people. And during this past 6 weeks, I was able to meet and learn about a good amount of local organizations. And I feel like knowing what's happening in the community really changes your view about what you can do, really. And coming up is going to be my staff interview for IU, who is a digital producer here. And enjoy.
It's really important as well to self-advocate and meet a lot of people. Understanding that you have value and you have something to give to the world, and invigorating yourself behind that. So I really wanted to keep this job, but I wanted to do more. And I identified that NEPM could probably use someone in a role that is more focused on digital production. Those key lessons there are just like believing that you have something to give and really putting forward and like just taking the shot, you know. It's like, what's the worst that could happen is like they don't have a job for you or they say no. But I did it and now I have a job. I think that in general what my hobbies and my work reflects is my passion to sort of try to view the world as broadly as possible with different perspectives in mind and different ways to navigate our very, very big and complex world.
Hello everyone, I'm Liam Reilly. I am the Media Mentor college intern from Springfield College. I'm a senior there and I'm studying communications and sports journalism. So what you just saw was all the staff interviews that the students put together. And after those first kind of couple of weeks, we transitioned to interviewing different community organizations like the Hope Center and the YMCA North End Outreach Center. And they were able to get experience with editing video, getting camera experience, getting footage, and interviewing. And we also had Mass Live speak to our students about different ways about social media videos, and we hosted the Emergence Academy Podcast Club. And it was great seeing the kids take what they learned from the lessons that we taught and apply to their videos. I had the opportunities to join the students on a reshoot at Parent Villages, and when you have to reshoot something, it's very easy to get discouraged, but the students had a really good attitude about that, and it was easy to see how passionate they are. They recognized shots that they could have included in the first shoot and made a good video, and then I'm also proud of how the students have done this cohort. They have always worked hard on their projects. They have paid attention to what we were teaching and flawlessly applied it to their assignments, and they're always professional when attending or in hosting community organizations. So I thank you guys for being good students.
Okay, now we're going to transition the conversation to learn more about our youth media producers. Throughout this program, as you've heard, we've highlighted community organizations in Western Mass. And for our second project, our youth media producers teamed up together in production teams and took roles as reporter, camera operator, and editor to produce these stories from start to finish. We'll be hearing directly from them as we do a panel-style discussion.
Today we are at the Hope Center of Art and we are interviewing different students that are a part of this program, and we are getting to learn what the program is about and what the students do, think, and feel about this program.
And all the creativity that goes on in this Hope Center. It's very cool to connect with other students because it's very unique.
I would say that the experience for me was very exciting. You know, I didn't know that this Hope Center was here, so hearing about the Hope Center and getting to experience it, and as an outsider, they were very welcoming and very informative on what the Hope Center is like.
The Hope Center is unique compared to other schools, is just because the freedom the students have to do what they want. I'm very excited to edit this video of this amazing place.
I am at Hope Center for the Arts.
I'm here at Hope Center of the Arts. Learning different things is really the most fun thing here.
There's different spaces for people who like to be loud or for people who like to be more quiet and reserved. There's spaces to do your homework quietly. There's spaces for you to be loud and sing and dance and act, do music, make art. Just a lot of different spaces for different kinds of people here. And when I saw the space, I really loved what I saw. I saw a lot of kids enjoying themselves, running around having fun. I saw the different artwork that they had put up. I saw how they got inspired from each other's artwork for their own. I really just saw a welcoming, safe environment.
Definitely getting to experience something new every day. That's the thing, you don't always have to try the same thing over and over again. That's why the Hope Center is here. They are here to show you more opportunities that you can take in the future with you. So I just love how every day is something new in the Hope Center. They won't judge what you want to do, and they're here for you, and they're gonna support you with whatever you want to do. If that's music, if that's art, if that's photography, if that's singing even, you can really do anything. I would tell them that because I feel like it would encourage them to join, and not only join, but to also be able to experience stuff that they may have not been able to experience.
I meant to say in my intro that you'll see two videos in this series. One, the behind the scenes of when we first went out, and you'll hear from the students on what they experienced, and then you'll see the youth produced video that each team created. So the Hope Center team, we had Jalissa as reporter, Mahdi as cameraman, and Josiah as editor. So I have a question for the three of you. As we transition from the staff interviews into going into community organizations, how did you prepare for these interviews, and what did you learn from the youth that you spoke with? Any one of you can start.
I'd say how we prepared to do one of these interviews was we first started off by researching a little bit of what the program was about, not too much because we still wanted to get a general feel of the program from a student's perspective. And can you repeat the other question, please?
Sure. What did you learn from the youth that you spoke with?
I learned all the different programs that they had there. Like I said in the video of the behind the scenes, I didn't really know much about the program. And hearing about it and getting to go experience it, there were so many different things, down to art programs and music and digital arts, and just so many different things for so many different students to do.
Thank you. Sure. As we transition from the staff interviews into the community organizations, specifically the Hope Center, how did you prepare? And you were the editor, so how did it feel editing this video?
It was definitely a long experience, but editing the video was, it was pretty cool seeing all the pieces and being able to put them together in a way that looked pretty flawless. And one thing I learned, just all of the diversity of the choices you had for the Hope Center, how she was listing, that there was places to sing, dance, just so much to learn at the Hope Center.
Sure, and one more question I want to ask you, because you were here with us in the summer and we did a video on the Basketball Hall of Fame. What do you feel like you learned from your first experience to the second experience?
Well, I definitely picked up some things from the summer since it was the first time I was here. And picking up from that, this experience now was much more easy, and I came in knowing what I was supposed to do. I was very confident, and it just made me feel better about the experience entirely.
Awesome. Thank you.
And in this project, I was the videographer. And in regards to preparation, I actually didn't have any preparation for this project because I had to step up because somebody was absent. So honestly, I think it was still a great experience, but I found it interesting trying to capture the right shots without knowing exactly what they were going to say. That was the interesting part. I feel like I overall did a very pretty good job, but and I was able to learn a lot from that place. I also didn't really know it was there, and as they said, there's various different activities there for pretty much anyone. There's quiet activities, reading, homework, or there's loud like dancing, singing, and stuff. And we're actually able to experience all the different, well, maybe not all, but we're able to experience the different activities there through the videography. Like with the music room, they were practicing, I'm not entirely sure what they were practicing, but you could see how engaged everybody is. Nobody's just there to just like they're forced. They seem to really enjoy themselves there, and I honestly think it would be a really nice place to go.
Next, we'll see and hear from the team who worked with Emergence Academy. First, we'll see the behind the scenes and then the youth produced video.
It feels amazing because it opens up more of a variety of things that people could want to do with their life. And now that they know, they might be interested and want to come back and do more things.
Today we had Emergence Academy, and we're interviewing them and just got them used to the studio because they're podcast club. And we're allowing them to look at the different facilities we have here and sort of getting used to being in this environment in case they want to pursue it in the future.
It was great. I liked it. It was pretty fun. They got to learn stuff, how to do audio, cameras, and interview.
I enjoyed the fact that I got to interact with some of the kids, and I got to teach them how to do the directing from like the cameras, and I just enjoyed that.
Get in front of the camera. The biggest thing is getting used to it because you want to have confidence, know how to have your posture, and just start recording videos, edit them yourself, and you'll get real used to the craft. It's perfection with practice.
Be inspirational. Inspire yourself to do whatever your heart desires.
Make sure that we are compliant with the things that
I like it when I'm like on the field trips, and the way they treat us is like high quality. Everyone's so welcoming here, and I feel like I belong here. They're so kind, and I like this place. I like where I am right now. Asking the questions more, that's what I like.
Emergence Academy, it's a school. There's a community of people from other different countries, people who speak different languages.
At school, we run some clubs. There are like ping pong clubs, we have dancing clubs, we have coding clubs. And Ms. Grace and I decided to run a podcast club, and this is what we're currently doing.
Like Emergence School Life, that's our podcast name. We basically talk like how is a school, how are the teachers, and sometimes we get a chance like to interview like the teachers.
I'm trying to the students to be more like they running the podcast, they making the questions and everything. They realize their skill of speaking is being improving, and the confidence on talking, so I like that improvement. Everything that we are currently doing here today at New England Public Media about audio, video, and everything, so that is something that I like a lot.
For the Emergence Academy production team, which was Madi, the reporter, Lesh, the camera person, and Jalissa, the editor. Question for you all is, how did it feel sharing your learning space with middle school students? And also, what was the experience of teaching them skills you've been learning here at Media Lab?
Honestly, experiencing hello? Okay. So, experiencing sharing the space with the middle schoolers, it was fun to be the teacher for a change, kind of. And in that space where they were trying to get into, they're trying to choose something that they enjoy, and you can really see how much, they enjoyed podcasting and interviewing and all that. Of course, some might be more connected to the camera, some might be more interested in asking the questions, and some people might be the ones that want to be in front of the cameras, really. And it was interesting to see how various, well, the variety of their, actually, I'm not really sure how to say this, but how they enjoyed it in different ways. You could see that they were all engaged with it, but they weren't all engaging the same ways, really, yeah.
Can you repeat the question? Sure. How did it feel sharing your learning space with middle school students, and what was your experience teaching them the skills that you've been learning here at Media Lab?
Sharing the space with middle schoolers was actually very interesting because having them get to experience a bigger, broader media place, because I know the podcasting club may not have as much access to things as we do, but I love to see the reactions. They were all very happy to be here and happy to experience new techniques of media, being behind in some of the scenes you saw how they were being recorded themselves, and they were messing around and finding different things to talk about and pretending to be behind the camera. And honestly, the experience myself, I was the editor for this video, so I think it was really fun to get to re-watch back the interviews and see how excited they were from the experience.
Thank you. Next, we'll see and hear from the team who worked with the YMCA North End Outreach Center.
It's definitely an experience, you could say, because as being so young myself and being able to interview kids around my same age, I feel like it just makes it a little bit more comfortable for me, since I'm it's like a conversation, we're just communicating. Today we went down to the YMCA down in the North End. We just really got to look around their area, see how their youth program goes and what they do to a day-to-day basis. So our youth media producers, we were getting a lot of B-roll shots in the classroom when they were working. We had pulled a few students aside to interview them, ask them about their experience there and how the environment is. And we also got to interview a few of the instructors as well. I think it is really important because our youth is our future, and to be able to get our youth started young and being able to get confident behind the camera, in front of the camera, from the interviewees being interviewed and the cameraman holding the camera and the interviewers asking questions, and all of us being teenagers and from not even teenagers, you could be youth, you could still be not even in your teen years and still be doing this. It's just so great to get out there and experience it, because it's something that you might fall in love with early and something you could pursue early in life and take it on for the rest of your future.
I think we all have challenges, no matter, what spectrum you are within life. And I feel like the youth has their own challenges in which, the YMCA comes together to kind of deal with them and be able, with the youth, and be able to give them more light in their lives and distract what's going on and focus on their dreams and their future.
And so we're able to reach kids where they are, Sometimes they may not be able to make it to our location, but we're able to go into their schools, speak with them one-on-one, with their counselors, with their families. We have a duality that most programs don't have the opportunity to have. And so I think that's what makes ours special.
An advice that I definitely give out to teenagers that are trying to join this program is don't be shy, be open to the idea of, joining a community that is there to give you something to do, especially whenever you feel like bored at home or you're spending too much time on social media. You can get out there and like come together and not feel so closed. You have like an open space to a community, and it literally builds future relationships with people around that could, be a part of your life.
I've been doing this work for about 7 years now. I think that personally, I love seeing the impact that we can make every single day in the lives of our next generation. I think that's so important. But I think just being a part of something like this when I was a child, I was a part of the Y, I was a club kid, and so growing up around it, I grew to love it.
So the production team that went over to the YMCA North End Outreach Center was Zaire, who was reporter and camera, Enrique, who was camera, and also Lesh did some interviewing and camera work as well. They kind of split the roles for this one. So the question for you and this team is, how was your experience traveling to the YMCA to get video footage? And specifically for this interview, we interviewed an adult, which was a little bit different than interviewing the youth. So how did that feel as well?
The trip over there was definitely interesting, to say the least. We took the bus about 2 streets over, hopped on the bus down to the North End, and it was an interesting experience coming from somebody that hasn't been on the bus before. So that was an experience in itself. And then once we got to the YMCA, they were super nice. They helped us a lot with getting a lot of B-roll shots. They took us into rooms that they weren't even being used today. They showed us the gym, they showed us the art room. They had a really nice library for the kids down there at the North End. And they were just really helpful.
Yeah, thank you. Is that here? Sure. How was your experience traveling to the YMCA to get this video footage? And we had the opportunity to interview an adult and a youth participant, and how did that feel?
The traveling there was actually pretty funny and fun. I got to actually get to leave the building. I enjoyed that, and talking to and asking the questions to the kid was actually very
That's okay. Take your time.
It was just a great experience overall. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Cool. Great. Next, we will hear from the team. We'll see and hear from the team that worked with Parent Villages. The fact that youth media producers were able to go over and interview Kiori, their education coordinator, was a great experience to see. Parent Villages is our partner for the Spring 2026 cohort, and it was just really nice to be able to tour their office. Really excited to see the expansion of their youth space. I learned a little bit more about the Parent Village mission, and specifically the upcoming brunch that they have that honors different educators and students in the community, and why that is so impactful for the city.
Wow, Education Matters Brunch. This is our actually 8th time doing it. We've been doing this strong 8 years in a row. And it's really a nice gathering once a year that we do where we can honor our youth while we're also honoring our unsung heroes, just people in the community that's really been making a strong change and a positive impact. When you are noticed doing good work, people tend to follow you and want to continue to support the work that you're doing. But also when you're noticed, it's strengthening to yourself, to remind yourself that you're doing the right things and you're on the right path. And for our youth, it's a little bit different. It's really like a stepping stool so they can be honored. They can get a scholarship for about $1,000 to get themselves started going off to college. it's important to be noticed. Really, like I was saying, when you're not noticed, you tend to overlook yourself. You tend not to work as hard, but when you're noticed, it gives you a sense of comfort, but a sense of that people believe in what I'm doing. People want to support me. The work that I've been doing hasn't fallen, but it can grow and it continue to grow higher than I thought, you know. So for the brunch, what it would look like as a staff member is we get there early, we get to set up, we get to greet the different families. When you get there, I don't know if you've ever been, but it's about 50 to 100 different families, about 300 people at the Twin Hills Country Club. A nice loading dock of about 10 different leaders in our community that share their stories. And after that, we really just wrap up in a nice knit family atmosphere, watching videos, smiling, laughing, and joking.
For our production crew for the Parent Villages video, we had Enrique as reporter and editor, and we had Josiah as camera. So the question for you is, when you initially came back from your first interview and started editing, we noticed that you didn't have enough footage. How did it feel having to go back over to Parent Villages and get more B-roll? And how did that change the overall outcome of the final video?
So me not having enough B-roll definitely made the video less interesting, to say the least. So there was a lot of split ups where it was just like a lot of face shots and not a lot going on about like the environment around the building. So when I went to go over to get more B-roll shots, I just like try to have like a different perspective on things. Try to get shots of different things, try to like get shots at different angles and different motions. And from when I had my first B-roll shots to when I got my second B-roll shots, I would say it definitely made it a little bit more like, it flowed better, you could say. It didn't really flow as well as when I had my first B-roll shots because I kind of rushed them and I had to work with kind of a little bit, so me getting those more B-roll shots definitely helped my short story flow a lot better.
Yeah, great work.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. When you came back from your initial interview and Enrique started editing, we noticed that there wasn't enough footage. How did you feel having to go back over to Parent Villages and get more video, and how did that impact the overall video?
Well, we had to go back. It was okay really, but it felt more complete after because we went back, and I felt like even watching it over the first time, I knew there wasn't gonna be enough, and when we went back, it just felt more complete and more full.
Sure. Question for both of you. Moving forward and doing a project like this, what are some things that you would look for to know that you have enough footage before you leave? Because you may not always have the opportunity to go back.
You can never have too much. So basically, like, you could take as much as you want and never get to the point where you feel like, am I taking too much? There's never too much. You want as much B-roll as you can get because you could have 80 videos of B-roll and you can only use 5, but you just want to have those shots just to have them.
Yeah, going off what he said, how there can never be enough because there's so much to go over after, and you wouldn't want to end up regretting not having enough B-roll because then you could just go over the editing and figure out the parts you would want, and having a lot of substance really makes it easier to have it all in one direct take.
Great. Next, we will see and hear, sorry, losing my place. Next, we will see and hear the video from our Mass Live visits.
Media Lab and Mass Live have had a partnership, I think, before I started at Mass Live about 4 years ago. And as we've evolved as a news organization, we've spread more across the state, and there's not really much to see in our small offices across the state these days. And a lot of people are working from home. So the way that our partnership has evolved is that we come to the studio here, have professionals share their expertise about different topic areas, whether it's video creation or about interview styles or about how to write, how to put a story together. And the professionals basically talk to the students and get their input about what they're interested in learning, and we do our best to talk about those skills. Every time that we interact with the students, we always are curious where they're getting their information from, whether it's through social media, TikTok, are they watching TV news, are they picking up their newspapers and reading news that way? It's really interesting where people get their information from in this constantly changing environment where you're wondering, okay, is this trustworthy? Did this get created by AI or some other thing? It's fascinating to learn about how students are navigating that and where they're getting their reliable information from.
Math Lab production crew, which was Josiah as the reporter, Jalissa as camera, and Madi as editor. How did it feel receiving media feedback from Mass Live reporters? And after hearing their feedback, how does that change the perspective as you move towards future projects?
Honestly, I'd like to say that I really, really appreciated the feedback from Mass Live. I feel like getting a different perspective from someone who's not like our teacher and like spending every day with us is like really helpful, because Mass Live is like, you know, statewide thing, and it's, you know, it just feels nice to have like, you know, it wasn't just like, oh, you know, because they just started this, you know, I'm going to treat this little thing, this little thing, this little thing, and like not give them any shine. I feel like they definitely did a very like fair, I guess, I wouldn't say rate, but like a very fair like commentary when it came to it. And I feel like I personally found it very useful, you know. I definitely like got to look back on my videos myself, like while watching it with them and getting their feedback. I felt like it was very like informative to see like, you know, how I could have grown and how I could have edited a video better.
Awesome. Josiah or Madi?
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. How did it feel receiving media feedback from Mass Live, and after hearing their feedback, does that change your perspective moving forward for future projects?
Well, getting feedback from Mass Live was really it was very helpful, because getting feedback from people who are way more experienced than me really helps, and it definitely helped me improve on what I was, you know, working on after. What's that question?
Just moving forward in future projects, will you take the feedback that they gave you and apply them to future projects?
Oh yeah, 1000%. The feedback they gave was really helpful, and it's definitely something I'll remember for my next, project.
Great.
I felt like while receiving their commentary, it was very helpful, because they weren't people who like took their standing and sort of looked down on you. There were people who would help try to lift you up, really. They would watch it, they watched a few of our videos, and they really pointed out specific things, both that we did good and that we could improve on, without sort of tearing our video apart, really. And I felt like that's a very helpful way to do things. And going into the future, actually when editing this video, I tried to implement a few of the things that they were saying. And I felt like it was very helpful, and there's stuff that would really stick with you, I guess.
Awesome. And before we close our panel, I have a question for everyone. How did this overall Media Lab experience change the way that you see community or other young people in Western Mass? And what was your favorite video that you worked on? Favorite part of Media Lab? Anyone can go.
I would say, can you repeat the first question?
Sure. It was a long one. By going out into the community and seeing different organizations, like how did that change your perspective of community, young people overall?
I think living in Springfield all my life, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know was around, and there's not a lot of stuff that gets put out into every single school and is described so perfectly. So being able to go out into Springfield in so many different parts and get to experience so many different organizations and programs, I found it really helpful, and I think it gave me a more brighter experience on the community, where it's not oh, Springfield's so boring, there's nothing to do here, but go to school and go back home. It's oh, you can do this and you can experience this, and this is open for everyone. And the second question?
Did you have a favorite video or just your favorite part of Media Lab?
I think I have a favorite video and a favorite part. My favorite video per se would be Kalisa. I feel like she was an amazing person to interview, and it was so fun editing her video and just getting to record everything. She was such an amazing person to have a conversation with, and yeah.
Thank you. Pass it to him.
Can I get the first question again?
Sure. How did Media Lab change your perspective about community or Western Mass?
Okay, so being with Media Labs definitely showed me that there's a lot more programs going on for our community than I used to be here. I was born and raised in Springfield till 6th grade, currently out in Ware right now is where I currently live. And coming from elementary school to middle school, I didn't know a lot about the community, and even living so far, I still am allowed to learn and still able to learn a lot about our community out in Springfield, because this is my hometown and I do love this place a lot, even though it's Springfield. But the community has a lot going on for itself right now. There's a lot of people that do care, and a lot of people that want to see better for the youth, and that are putting these things out here, these programs, these buildings up for the youth to get better, and being able for the youth to express themselves how they want to express themselves, that they don't have to sit there and try to be somebody else. You could sit there and be whoever you want and give them the materials to be whoever they want.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite video or part of Media Lab?
Favorite part of Media Lab, of course, has to be the beanbags. And my favorite video, I would probably have to say, is interviewing Jerry. He was just such a great guy to be able to interview, conversate with, and the B-roll clips he got me is just like no other.
Thank you. Whoever.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. How did being in Media Lab change the way that you see community or Western Mass?
Being in Media Lab really changed my perspective on Springfield in general, because I thought Springfield was really just the basketball Hall of Fame. That's what everyone knows Springfield for, is being the birthplace of basketball, but going out and exploring different youth programs and different, I could say different youth programs. And I'm just glad to get out there and not just be in the house all day.
We're glad that you came to Media Lab. Oh, and what was your favorite video or part of Media Lab?
I feel like my favorite video was the YMCA video.
Awesome. Thank you. After school things. You need me to repeat the question? Yeah. How did Media Lab change your perspective of Western Mass or community in general?
I feel like during this program, I was able to learn about what Springfield isn't really represented as, because what you hear about every day is you hear about the people who are doing the bad. You really hear about the bad things the most. but you don't often hear about the people that are uplifting our youth or building programs for us not to keep doing the bad things, to get us out of the activities that we shouldn't be doing. And I think that was a really nice experience to see a bunch more programs that are really looking to give the youth a place of shelter, a place of home and community. And I think that was a very nice touch of this program, yeah.
And did you have a favorite video or part of Media Lab?
I'd say my favorite, I love that we have snacks every day prepared for us, really. And video-wise, I'd say probably the Mass Live video because it was entertaining to edit the videos. Because you really have to get a full understanding of what they're saying. And I feel like that actually incorporate, because at my church, we recently did this exercise where we had to listen to somebody talk to us without responding. And I think having to actually do that outside of that activity was pretty interesting, how I had to take everything in, and I can't talk to them because I'm editing a video. And I can't ask questions, but I'm able to truly understand while trying to get the perfect shot and what videos will line up with what they're saying at what point, really.
Awesome, thanks for sharing.
Oh, good.
What was the question?
I got you. How has Media Lab changed your perspective on community or Western Mass?
Media Lab has definitely broadened my vision to like things to do in Springfield. Like the Hope Center looks like a really interesting place. There was definitely lots to do there, and it definitely just gave me a sense of community, like the way that they all work together and seeing all the other places we went to and how they're structured and just, yeah, how everybody worked together.
Awesome. And did you have a favorite video or part of Media Lab?
The bus ride there and back from the Y. Fun.
Shout out to PBTA. Perfect. Well, that is the end of our panel, and I just want to say that I'm really proud of each and every one of you. Our time here is always so short, but just from you going from week one and not knowing each other to, you know, I think after the first week now we're like already close and learning the skills and implementing and asking questions. And I think by week 6 you're comfortable enough, and I shared the other day, comfortable enough with us to vocalize the things that you want to see, like changes in the program and how we can support you. So we're not only teaching you, but you're teaching us as well. So I wish you all the best. The ones that want to come back in the summer, stay in touch. And I'm glad that the ones that have returned, you chose to, because we really appreciate all that you do and seeing you grow over the years. So thank you. We're going to have Ismati, our Director of Education, come up for closing and certificates.
An amazing group of youth media producers. We're so proud of you all. I'm Ismati, I'm the Director of Education here at NEPM. And we can't close without thanking everyone that made this cohort possible. First, Parent Villages. It has been such an honor to partner in this with you in this cohort, helping us, placing the students, making sure that they get a scholarship at the end of the program, and making sure that they are supported throughout. I hope that we can recreate this experience for years to come. Thank you, Wanda and Kiori, for taking all the time to partner with us this spring. Thank you to our dedicated staff members for your continued support to the program, and a special shout out to Jerry, Alice, Ayu, Umar, Liz, and Jill for letting us invade your workspaces with a camera and a microphone on that first week. Thank you to our community organizations, the Hope Center for the Arts, Emergence Academy, the YMCA North End Outreach Center, Parent Villages, and Mass Live for trusting our youth media producers to capture your programs and share your stories. Special shout out to Dave, David, Sebastian, and Taylor at Mass Live for not only letting us record video of your visit, but sitting with them and providing them with helpful feedback. Together, we are all encouraging and developing the next generation of media professionals. Finally, I want to thank the state of Massachusetts for funding our program and making sure that the young people of the greater Springfield area have access to a workforce development program that teaches them valuable media skills from digital storytelling, journalism, video, and audio production. As a former intern myself, I understand the value of creating these opportunities that can be life-changing, where you meet your mentors and develop the skills that carry you through life. I hope we were able to do that for you. And with that, we are going to call you one by one. You're going to grab your certificate. You're going to stand in the front because we're going to take a group photo. And after the photo, you're going to come grab a goodie bag, check in with Wanda so you can grab your scholarship. And there's Puerto Rican food waiting for us after. All right, Jalissa. The skills that you learn in this program to skyrocket your Instagram sweets business, all right? Madi. Madi, it's been so cool to have you back in our space and see how your skills have evolved in the last 2 years and watch you become a leader amongst your peers. Thank you. Lesh, you've grown so much since you joined us last fall, and it's been an honor to witness you coming out of your shell and using this space as a growing resource for you. You have a photographer's eye. Zaire. Zaire, I hope that this program was helpful for your business side of the cam. And I have to say, you also have a great eye for photography, so keep it up. Enrique. Enrique, your confidence and leadership skills were noticeable since day one. It's been so fun guiding you through this journey, and I hope that the skills you learned here serve you wherever you go. You're a great reporter. Josiah, it's been an honor to watch you grow since last summer and know how passionate you've become about developing your journalism and photography skills, not only here, but also in school. And I hope you take this wherever you go. Keep it up. Congratulations to our youth media producers. I hope you leave this program feeling empowered to keep sharing your stories and the stories of your community.